WrestleMania 19 is often touted as one of the best in WWE history. The atmosphere, the match lineup, the hype going into it, everything was laid out perfectly. This is the first time I ever watched this Mania, and today you'll be receiving my retrospect of the event, so I hope you enjoy. We start off with Rey Mysterio versus Matt Hardy for the Cruiserweight title, and like I mentioned earlier, the atmosphere was amazing for this pay-per-view. The Safeco field was the perfect place to host WrestleMania, and it truly captures the essence of such a spectacle. This was a really fun match, and the crowd was really behind Rey Mysterio for this one, and man, his gear was so tough. Matt Hardy is also pretty impressive in the ring, despite being a bit slower than his younger days. This was a short match as it only went for 5 minutes, but they did enough to leave me satisfied and entertained, so I give this match 3 stars out of 5 on the Slam scale. The next match was a handicap. Undertaker versus A-Train and Big Show. This was supposed to be a tag team match with Nathan Jones as Taker's partner, but Big Show and A-Train took him out earlier. This is one of those matches that you question why this was even on the show, considering that the whole streak of lore was the possibility of someone breaking it. But if A-Train and Big Show won, then it would mean that they both defeated the streak. This match was bad. Taker has no chemistry with either man, and it was just a whatever bout that could have easily missed this Mania. At least they made the right decision by taking Nathan Jones off the show, because he was extremely green at the time and he was in no shape or form ready to perform at Mania. This match gets 2 stars out of 5 because it wasn't like the worst match I ever witnessed, but it is definitely skippable. I forgot to mention these mini segments between the matches with these women. I'd like to just skip over it because this has Vince's nasty fantasies written all over it. The next match was Trish Stratus versus Jazz versus Victoria for the Women's Championship. This was actually a very decent bout that saw 3 of the legit women wrestlers on the roster putting together a very good match. I was pleasantly surprised that Vince let them go out there and actually perform rather than making them half-assed like they usually were told to do. The literal only downside of this match is Jerry King's commentary. All this guy does is talk about these girls in a sexual manner, and it is truly sickening. I don't know how this guy ever got a job commentating, because all of his clips online are of him talking about girls in a weird ass way. Fucking hate that guy, and if you got offended by that, fuck you too. The women did their thing, and this match receives a solid 3 out of 5 stars since it was pretty short and nothing really blew me away. The next match was a stacked triple threat tag for the WWE tag team titles. This match was pretty disappointing if I'm being honest with you. With all that talent in the ring and you have no one that was able to make anything exciting out of this. I was expecting so much more because I'm a fan of everyone in that ring, but it was just flat and boring. The little interactions between Benoit and Eddie was nice, but that was about all you got from this. No big spot surprisingly out of the Rhyno spears at the end, and that was about it. 3 stars out of 5 for this because it was a fine match. Everyone performed fine, but it was just missing something. The next match was Chris Jericho versus Shawn Micheals. The story going into this one was that Jericho looked up to Micheals as a kid and wanted to be exactly like him growing up, only to later realize that his role model was a huge disappointment. He wanted to end the Heartbreak Kid's career at WrestleMania, so it led to this very moment. There was a lot of hype surrounding this match because of the 2 very talented individuals going at it, so I was very excited to see this for the very first time. I'm going to be honest, this was underwhelming to me. I was just expecting much more considering how much praise this match gets, but I can't put it past me at the fact that it's not that Mania spectacle everyone claims it to be. I think they performed really well in terms of the moves that they executed and the spots that they did, but it felt like something was missing in the recipe that they were cooking. Often they had these rest periods that felt like went on forever, and the high spots in this match weren't enough to justify how long this went. I give this match a solid 3 out of 5 stars because it wasn't bad, but with the talent in the ring, I just expected much more from these 2 legends. The next match was... I don't know what the fuck this was, man. I can't believe people advocate for this era of women in WWE. The actual next match was Triple H versus Booker T for the World Heavyweight Championship. This match was the drizzling shits, man. I have no idea how Triple H got away with this awful bout at WrestleMania. Don't even get me started on this racist ass storyline that they had for this man. Easily the biggest slap to the integrity of Booker T's character. I don't know who gave the green light for these 2 to have an 18-minute match as if they were going to create magic with it. Jerry King's commentating was awful in this one as well. My goodness, is he so horrible. The whole time he was just being a racist piece of shit, and I couldn't stand hearing his ass. 18 minutes is crazy because they really went out there and proceeded to do nothing with it. I can't give this 1 star because it wasn't the worst match I ever seen, but this deadass could have missed the card for all I care. The fact that Triple H pedigreed Booker T and proceeded to take 30 business days to pin him and still get the victory is beyond me. I give this match 2 out of 5 stars. What a huge waste of time. The next match was Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon in a street fight. Hey, shout out to Hogan for getting booed out the building during the debut of Raw on Netflix. You deserve it, you big piece of shit. Anyways, the story behind this was that Vince was taking credit for creating Hulkamania and Hogan was denying it, and it all led to this. They brought up Hogan leaving for WCW and all that good stuff, and I still don't know why this had a spot on WrestleMania. Don't get me wrong, this match wasn't bad because it wasn't a normal match, which was a great decision since both men are absolutely ass in the ring. This was an actual fun match that saw 2 old ass grandpas beat each other's ass to a bloody pulp. The crowd was into it, which helped out, but there was nothing spectacular to come out of it outside of a ladder spot from Vince, which actually caught me off guard. Then the match was overbooked to oblivion with Roddy Piper interfering and siding with Vince, and then this random ass ref that Vince had a hard on for. Man, I don't know what was going on at this point. I just wanted the match over with. I can't believe that Vince managed to have a better match than Triple H at WrestleMania. I give this 3 out of 5 stars because it wasn't bad, but at the same time it wasn't anything special. The next match was Hollywood Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. This was one of the matches that I was excited for to watch for the first time because once again it was one of the most hyped matches that I've ever heard of for WrestleMania. This is one of the rivalries that was company defining, as it is remembered by millions of those who watched WWE when they were kids. But this match was a far cry in terms of what these two could deliver in the ring. Austin was spent from all the years of grueling injuries and mental health struggles outside of the ring, and you could tell because The Rock carried for a majority of this match. Most of it took place outside of the ring, and the ref wasn't even counting for the most part, and the excuse was because this feud was personal. Then they will finally take it to the ring, and it didn't get any better. They resorted to finisher spamming, and the crowd was eating it up, but man, I don't find this entertaining at all. The energy was off the charts for this, but the match just fell flat for me. I give it 3 out of 5 stars because it wasn't bad, but nothing to be over the top about outside of the atmosphere that the crowd created. The main event was Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. This was yet another hyped up match that will always be remembered in the history books. The match that solidified the dominance of the beast Brock Lesnar at the time, and it was around the time Kurt Angle was nearing his exit from the company. This match was fantastic and worth all the hype, and I can't believe I went 21 years without seeing this amazing bout for myself. The physicality was off the charts and the technical wrestling was really good. They told a really great story in the middle of the ring in what was a really solid WrestleMania main event. The only thing that was holding the match back was the fact that the holds felt like they were applied for far too long. The pace was perfect, but those moments were dragging the match for far longer than it should have been. And that's about all the negative things I can say for this. And my goodness, Brock Lesnar is a fucking animal. When you look at the clips of this shooting star press online, it doesn't capture how far Kurt Angle really was. It's insane that he even attempted that spot considering how big he is and how deep they were into this match. The botch didn't take away from the spectacle that this was though. It actually added to it. I give this 4 out of 5 stars because it was a fantastic match, just with holds that dragged on for far too long. So in the end, WrestleMania 19 receives 26 out of 45 stars in what was a pretty middle of the road event. Many hyped up matches that on paper sounds like a great all-timer mania, but it ends up being whatever and something I won't remember in the next month. So I hope you all enjoy the video. If you hate my guts right now for rating this mania this low, I'm sorry, but this is my honest opinion on the show. For those who enjoyed the video, consider liking the video and subscribing as it helps the channel grow. And I'll see you all in the next one.